Against the Ropes podcast.
He's desperately trying to cover up. Ali won't extend himself all out against the rope. But Ali still tries.
Lopez moments away. And there it is. He has done it. Teofimo Lopez delivering on everything he said he would. Incredible.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda. We are back for episode 67.
Yeah.
Episode 67, man. End of the year.
End of the year, man.
Right. We're closing out the 12th round.
Damn,
Championship rounds.
Yep.
We do have a big show coming up for Allstar Boxing, right, at the Quiet Cannon this Sunday, December 22nd, right? And we have one of the fighters who should be fighting, right? Should be fighting in that card. You want to introduce him?
Yeah,
Chris?
we got Mr. Jessie Super Mandapat. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it correct.
Hey,
That's
welcome.
right.
Welcome to the show.
And we also got Mr. Victor Rodriguez.
Victor Rodriguez,
Yeah.
welcome. You guys. Undefeated, both of you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how old are you guys once again?
I'm 21.
21?
Years old, yeah.
And
I'm
Vic?
19.
19, so young.
Yeah.
Young, hungry, right?
Hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, especially me. I got one more pound to go. But I'm still hungry.
Yeah, and before the
that's
show, Gio did say, did the holiday sneak up on you guys, or you guys?
No, I still ate good for Thanksgiving. But no, I actually cut weight really good for this fight, you know. Man, I don't know. I just been eating well. I'm training hard. My last fight, I was like cranky. I'm like telling people, get the fuck out of my face.
Hangry.
Yeah, but I feel good.
Yeah.
I think for my fight, it was, being that it was a week out, Thanksgiving. That one really did get me. I couldn't eat what I usually like to eat on Thanksgiving, and we left the party early.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that would piss off most people. You can't eat you see all that food there, that ham, that turkey.
There was a Christmas party I went to this weekend, last weekend, and man, there was like Filipino food there and everything. I'm like, man, you.
What's the one thing that you see it on the table and you're just like, fuck, I wish I could eat that?
Well, it was like a Filipino party. There's like a lot of Filipino food, so they had like pancit, lumpia, and stuff like that. But man, I don't know. I just wanted everything. When you're cutting weight, you go to like 7-Eleven, the stuff that doesn't even like sound good, like all of a sudden looks good to you. You're like, damn, I'm gonna get these like grandma cookies. Actually, those grandma cookies are pretty bomb over there. But yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, man. I think for me, my aunt took tamales, pozole, so it was a painful day. I was just there, and my family tries to support me, like with the diet and stuff, but you can't really force them to
not eat good.
just not eat good on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Sad stuff.
Yeah, sad stuff, man. I mean, I know we joked a little bit about it before the show, but I mean, one fighter that didn't, because he can eat. Heavyweights, you can eat whatever you want, man. You don't have to make weight, right?
Make weight.
So, Andy, did you guys catch that fight? Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua?
Definitely.
Yeah, I did.
What did you guys think about that fight?
I think it was an easy dub for Joshua. I already knew that he was going to win and, outbox him the whole time. Especially, they're saying that Andy Ruiz gained like 40 pounds, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Then people were thinking that this is going to be a plus for him. Like, oh, yeah, he gained 40 pounds, there's going to be more power. I'm like, I don't know. Where which part of his power? No, but no, other than that, Andy Ruiz is a very good fighter, though. But
I think watching that fight was like, it was so disappointing for me just because I was watching and I was expecting so much more, but once I saw that he took off his shirt, and he was like, oh man, he was fatter than he already was, and it's like, it was so disappointing to me watching him because I know that he can do much more than that, and he was throwing 2-3 punches. When he's a fighter that throws multiple combinations. That's what he's known for, being a fast heavyweight.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't that night. It was disappointing to watch.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. He's known for those fast combinations. That's what makes him different. That's what makes him. And most heavyweights.
And a big guy with that kind of speed.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like being a world champion. I mean, there's responsibility, right? I know it's. Yeah. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Man, being a world champion, obviously, it's just like the get-go. Even like in the amateur days, you don't take breaks. You don't, boxing's all year round. A lot of fighters, they like after their fight, they take like a break from. It depends from 1 week to a whole month, but you got to stay prepared, getting ready for every opportunity. I think that's one thing that a lot of boxers don't have too much discipline on as well. Like even including myself, including myself.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you guys as young fighters, what are some of the obstacles that you guys like see yourselves having to overcome, like this early on in your careers?
I think for us, since we're just starting, just getting past that phase where people just see us as any other fighter, just finally making a name for ourselves, because we've been through the amateurs and we know the way it is, but getting to the pros is much different, in the process when it actually matters, just finally making that name for yourself.
And having people that actually want to take the chance with you, like promoters want to take the chance with you, managers want to take the chance with you, because a lot of times coming up, you just kind of, you don't have a good amateur background. I have a sufficient amateur background, but, it's hard if, you're starting from the bottom, you're not like really ranked number 1 in the U.S., that kind of thing.
I agree. It's like, if you don't have all that amateur record that these promotion companies are looking for, it's sad because they don't give you that opportunity that you maybe do deserve. There's a lot of talent out there that just doesn't have that kind of support, but that can maybe probably be up there in the future.
Does that mess with you like a little bit in the head, like when people don't really believe in you? Or
no, I don't let it faze me. I think that motivates me to work harder, and prove them wrong, prove to them that I have what it takes to be up there.
Yeah, I don't really trip either. I just gotta do your thing. Everyone started from the get-go. Everyone did, Just gotta do your work, get in there. It's your job as a boxer to do what you gotta do. Is whether whoever you fight, whatever it is, and that's how you make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
But it's just hard from the beginning, Just gotta get past it.
Hey, success tastes better with the hard work.
Yeah. So you guys are 19, 21. You guys are fighters in this new age of boxing where social media is there.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys deal with the presence and the pressure of social media?
To be honest, I should actually be posting more. I should be utilizing hashtags more. I should really be posting more, because there's people that I see in when I was coming up from the amateurs also that already got a big following, and I'm like looking at myself like, damn, I'm lacking. I'm really lacking. These guys already got like 10K followers each. I'm like at 1K. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, nowadays, man, social media is everything. I made an Instagram account. I already had one, but I made an official one when I was in that process of turning pro. I had to make a new one where I just post specifically about my career, and so we're trying to get up there because we know that that's what promotion companies are looking for. If you can sell tickets, they want you for sure.
That's right. Shout it out. What is it? What's your Instagram?
V Rodriguez Official.
Yes, sir. Want to shout yours out real quick?
Jessie Mandapat, Jessie Mandapat.
Hey.
That might be a little long to say.
Hey.
But I think the boxing fan as well, they look at that stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Like if an up and coming fighter has like a lot of followers, they're like, ooh, maybe I should be checking this guy out, right?
That's true. Yeah.
But you know what? I want to talk about your last fight because you had a tremendous knockout, right?
Yeah.
The one at the Commerce Casino. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, he kind of talk a lot during the weigh-ins. During the weigh-ins, he's all like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one." This, you know, but you know, I just let my hands talk in the ring. I didn't really say nothing. You know, I'm not really that kind of guy to go ahead and like tell people like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up," you know. But I'm just over there.
But you're thinking it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I just went over there, and I didn't even know. My friend told me after the fight, like, "Oh yeah, you know, you knocked him out 2 minutes and 59 seconds." I was like, like on the very last second, there was one more second.
Yeah. So we were there ringside doing the commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, I don't know, give us your opinion on that. We thought it was a bit of an early stoppage, and it might have something to do with the fact that the round was going to be over, and he was on his feet. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would say it could be ruled as like an early stoppage. I think the ref did get a little bit happy feet because that was like probably like the first knockdown, and you know the crowd's going loud. He probably couldn't hear, but you know that could happen in any fight. But I do believe that if he would have got up, he probably would have had time to recover. But after that, I'm going for his head, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like he was kind of going for the safety of my opponent because, you know, I would have went after him after that. After that, he took that break that second. If there would have been a second round, I would have went after him.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like, that approach. Do you go for the kill? You just say you do go for the kill. Is there ever like some time where you're like, oh, maybe I should wait a little bit because sometimes when a fighter is hurt, that's when they're most, that's when they're dangerous. Do you stop and think about that, or?
Actually, in the beginning of the fight, I really paced myself for a while. I didn't intend to, but you know, I kind of learned from my first fight where I was like wasted my energy in the first round because adjusting from amateurs to pro, and you know, I didn't really have much sparring with like pro fighters before my first fight, so I kind of like pace myself, take my time in there, and then when the punches are ready to let go, I let it go, you know. But that time I kind of waited a bit too long. It could have ended a little bit earlier, but you know, it was God's plan during that time. But and for sure, it wasn't God's plan for him to get knocked out. But
and he was an interesting guy, right? Because we even saw before the fight, he was mad dogging you. He was trying to pump himself up and talking a little bit, try to, get you off your game. But I thought that was a very interesting fight, and the ending was interesting as well because the way that he fell, it looked like he was out. And then he got up, and he was telling the ref, "I'm good," but the ref waved it off. I think it was just very interesting.
Yeah.
And we did post it on our Instagram and YouTube, so you guys can check that out. And it's probably on your screen right now as you're watching this. But yeah, that was a good knockout. How important is the knockout, like starting off in your early careers? Do you guys look for it off the bat?
Knockouts are important, especially that's something that like promoters are looking for. Someone with not specifically with like a lot of knockouts, but a lot of wins. But having a lot of knockouts is a plus also, Me personally, as long as I get the job done, but there's something my coach also said, we don't get paid for overtime. Coach Alex, he told me that all the time. We don't get paid for overtime. I always keep that in mind. But if the opportunity is there and there's a knockout opportunity available, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't take it.
Yeah. Nice.
I just had my debut this past December 5th, and I did crave a knockout. But coming into the fight, we knew that we probably weren't going to get the knockout, having that this guy was experienced.
And the dude was heavy,
Yeah, the guy went in weighing close to 160. I was in there at 148 that fight night.
Oh, wow.
So there was a big difference. We knew that we weren't going to knock him out. His record, he had never been stopped or knocked out. So we went in there with the game plan, and we executed just to win round by round.
Dope. And this fight was in LA, right?
Yeah.
The one on Thursday night. Yeah. Was it a little different fighting like on a Thursday? Did it feel weird?
Honestly, no. I think I was just concentrated on doing my job. A lot of people asked me if I was nervous. Days before, they would ask me every day, "Oh, are you nervous?" And it's like, I'm not nervous. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will be the day of, but the day got there and I wasn't nervous. I was just anxious to finally get in the ring and get the job done.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Adan Ochoa was on that same card, right?
Yeah, I think he was the main event that night.
Shout out to Adan, and you got your first W.
Yeah.
Right.
I was nervous for you, bro. Like, it's different when I'm fighting. Bro, okay, so we went to your locker rooms. My dad messaged me like, "Oh yeah, I want you guys to walk out with us through the entrance."
Yeah.
Bro, so we're walking up the stairs, bro. My legs were like, like, oh my god, it's fighting. Like,
yeah.
I don't feel like that during my fight.
You don't feel like that?
It's different.
No.
It's different. I remember at your fight too. It's like just having someone so close to you fighting. It's like, man. You feel nervous, and even though you know that they probably don't feel that, like, you know what they can do, and you trust what they can do, but it's like, it's just, it's nerve-wracking. So,
yeah. When you told me that you were down to come to the show, and you told me that you got your friend, I was like, they must be close.
Yeah.
And you just echoed some sentiments that Alfredo, or one of our past hosts, said that when his friend B-Fly fights, he gets more nervous for him than his own fights. So it's like. Because you can control, I guess, what you know your own self, but you're like, man, I can only be a spectator for my friend, for my buddy, you know.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean,
yeah.
Shout out to Alfredo.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not only Victor. Whoever is fighting at the gym that is a pro, like, Philly. You know, Philly, right?
Our friend Philly Robacava.
Yeah.
Shout
Well,
out.
when he fights, dude, I
know.
Man. I'm like, shit, like, this is happening, man. This is happening. And I'm pretty sure he's like cold-blooded. He has no emotion. He just goes over there and does his job. But I get nervous.
I think it's just we all grew up together, in the gym. I think I met Jessie when I was like maybe 6, 7, something like that. So
I was 9 years old. That was the first boxing gym I've ever went to. Boxing 2000. Yeah.
So we've grown up together. We used to spar together. So it's he's a really good friend to me. He's like a brother. So I think that's why I was so nervous to do this fight.
I feel you.
It's crazy too, because when we had Arnold Barboza, he has the same thing if he can bring his buddy. And he had his best buddy right next to him.
Yeah.
They're sharing, similar stories. But that's pretty cool. And you mentioned that you sparred Arnold, right?
Yeah, we sparred Arnold a few times. Super good guy, man. He's a cool guy. And inside of the ring, vicious, man. Yeah.
He's a beast. Hopefully he gets a chance at that 140 division.
He will. Trust me. Yeah.
And he's getting knockouts now, right? What, 3 in a row?
3 in a row already?
You got Mike. You got the other guy at the Bank of California, and then his last fight was the body shot.
I'll tell you, those body shots are vicious, man. I got hit by one of those, and I tried not to show it, but I went back to the corner, and I was like, that one hurt.
Yeah, poker face, huh?
Yeah.
What are some things that you learned from sparring Arnold?
Man, sparring Arnold is just, it's like, keep your guard up, because anytime he'll counter you. Like, I think he learned from the first time we sparred. We kind of traded a lot of punches the first time, but after that, he really learns, going in there. I tried pressuring, but he was countering me every time. He's a difficult fighter. He learns quick. Yeah.
Shout out to Arnold, man.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Cool.
Yeah. I noticed you have a little Wayne shirt, bro. You're a big fan?
Oh, no, dude. I saw this at, like, Ross, so I, like... Yeah, my girlfriend always goes to, like, TJ Maxx or Ross, so she always, like, brings me over there, and I'm like, oh, okay, I like the shirt. Oh, it was only, like, $9.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was going to ask you for your favorite Lil Wayne song.
I like Drop the World.
Okay.
I'm thinking I might do, like, an entrance song for, I don't know which one of my fights, but I'll do it probably soon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I remember that song, actually. Now I do. What about you? What do you like to come out to?
I think corridos. This for my first fight, I came out to Gallo de Pelea just because my whole life I've listened to just Mexican music. I'm really, I'm proud of my culture, so I stick to it.
Sure, you're Mexican?
Yeah.
Where are your parents from?
My dad is from Ciudad Obregón, Sonora, and my mom is from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Saludos.
Le va las Chivas.
Hey. Yeah.
That's what's up. What about you, Jesse? Where are you from, or where are your parents from?
My dad's from Philippines. My mom's also from Philippines. My dad's from Pangasinan, Philippines, but I forgot where my mom's from. But yeah, I was born and raised over here. Yeah.
Have you been to the Philippines?
Oh yeah, I've been one time, and I was like, man, it's such a culture shock, to be honest, because
Wow.
we have like a lot of people over here in US, like a lot of kids that depression seems to be like a big part,
Yeah.
but there's rarely such thing as depression in Philippines, because everyone is poor. Everyone make fun of each other. Everyone dick around with each other all the time, and dude, there's no such thing as like sensitive people out there, like over here we got a whole bunch of kids that's so sensitive, man. A lot of kids
Land a jab on them, they start crying.
yeah, you say what's up, they're gonna say that's like harassment. But yeah, in Philippines there's really no such thing as depression, because that's already the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you? You've been to Mexico, right, a few
Yeah.
times. How is it, your experience? Because Mexico's obviously pretty big. But how's your experience there compared to here in the States?
I think when you go to, maybe like Jesse says, to the Philippines, to Mexico, being that there's very poor places, poverty is a big thing. So I think coming back here, it's like you learn to be so grateful for what you have. It's like, man,
very humbling.
These kids, I remember they would come up to me like selling me gum, or like, and they're 5-year-old kids. So, and then like there's kids out here, that they cry for not having things, and it's like over there they literally have nothing.
I got a white iPhone. I wanted the black one.
They're working their butts off, so it's life changing, man.
Actually, to mention, when I was in Philippines, I remember we're gonna go to 100 Islands, and I guess there's these like little kids. They went up to my dad and me and like our whole family, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let me watch your car. Just pay me. I'm gonna watch your car." It's like, shit. It's like they're like, these little kids are gonna watch the car, right? It's like, what do you need to watch the car for? Like, okay, yeah. So we're gone for like 8 hours, and this little kid is sleeping on the floor watching the car with like a trash bag over him just to keep him warm. I'm like, holy shit! Like, that's these crazy. Kids really about it. Like, man, this struggle is real over there. Really real.
What do you think about Manny Pacquiao?
It's my idol.
Hey,
it's my idol. I run with him every not every time, but every now and then when he's back here in LA. Dope. But I feel very humbled. I feel very motivated when I'm with him, because not everyone gets to run next to the champ, someone that's that big of a figure. And to be honest, I didn't really, when I was a kid, I didn't like to watch boxing. Like I whenever my dad would put Pacquiao on, he'd like literally force me to watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I want to watch like George Lopez or SpongeBob. Yeah, but no, it's very humbling, especially now that I'm older and everything. Yeah.
Do you think he's the right person to take charge of that country, kind of make things a little better?
I think so. Honestly, I don't really know too much about the laws in place that he's put, so I can't really have too much input about it. But what I do know is that I forgot for which part of the Philippines there's like, or I'm not sure if it's like the whole Philippines. I don't know. But he had like a increase of 50% tax on cigarettes, which is, I would think is pretty good, because cigarettes kill a lot of people. That's probably the only law that I know about that he's done, but I can't really say too much about the stuff that he's done, or if he would be a good president or not. I would have to look into it.
Now, you speak the language, right?
No, I understand. I understand, but I can't really like speak it. I can say bad words.
Bakla.
Putang ina mo. All that. Yeah, but no, I can't speak like sentences. I'll be like brain farting.
The bad words are like always the first thing you learn in any language, huh?
That's the ones you remember.
In school, it's like, hey, say this in Spanish, and it's like, that's what they learn. Whatever your friends tell you to say, and they're always bad words.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I talk to somebody about Pacquiao or somebody of Filipino descent, like, they know somebody that knows him, or like he's very approachable. He's like, oh, my cousin like knows him, or like, oh, because he's so humble and so approachable. Obviously not to like the masses, but like within like the culture. Like every time I ran into somebody and that time I'm like, oh, because he's we're big fans of Pacquiao as well since growing up. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I love Pacquiao. We have this boxing podcast and we talk boxing, and they're like, oh yeah, I know somebody that know, like somebody knows him because he's, I guess, very approachable, humble. You know, anybody can just go over there and talk to him and stuff.
Yeah, he's very humble. You don't really see him like say no to any pictures or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the reason why he has like bodyguards to say, oh, like, no more pictures and stuff like that. But he himself, he wouldn't say like, oh no more pictures. He's a very humble guy, and he gives back a lot to Philippines and people like that.
Nice.
Who are some of your idols coming up?
Juan Manuel Marquez, and as a kid, Salvador Sanchez.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So your dad showed you tapes and all that?
Yeah, my dad would show me tapes of Salvador Sanchez, Benito Lopez. So growing up, those were the three. Juan Manuel Marquez, all due to respect, but man, I think he had won all 3 fights before that, but then the 4th fight he finally got the knockout.
Is that how you got into boxing? Your dad?
No, my older brother. So my older brother used to play soccer, but he told my dad, you know what, I want to box. My parents never really forced us to play a specific sport. They did force us to play a sport. They wanted us to be active. But the main reason I joined was because of my older brother. I did whatever he did. So once I laced up the gloves, it became a habit. I fell in love with it. So that's why I'm still here.
Bro, when you were younger, your nose bled like a fucking like if every time we spar or he spar anyone, like his nose would like drain like a sausage.
I swear, man.
What'd you do? You went to get a
to
zap,
Mexico,
right?
man.
Yeah.
I was like, I did like a lot of the treatments here. They would tell me, hey, snip vinegar. Dude,
Wow.
it was painful.
You know what else? Never mind.
I put.
What else you can snip?
What was it?
Supposedly it stops the nose bleeding.
What does?
The stuff that Chavez used to take.
What was it? Oh.
Anyway, continue.
I even put lemon drops in my nose, like, man, because they were telling me like, oh, it's gonna kill the cell, and I was like, all right, anything at this point. But till this year is when I finally got it cured. We went to Mexico. Okay. They put chemicals in my nose and it burned everything. So now it's like, it was like the most painful week of my life. Man. It was like
week?
It was like a whole week. So the treatment was like, it was maybe like 15 minutes. Dude, it was in and out. They just had to put the chemicals in your nose and that was it. But man, maybe like after half an hour, my eyes were red. My nose was like, it was freaking massive, man. It's already pretty big, but like, it was massive. It was just swollen. For like a whole week, I had headaches, man. It was terrible. But it did the trick.
The bleeding stopped.
Yeah, man. I remember when I used to spar Jessie. It was like you opened a faucet, man. It was like it would just drip and drip and drip, and people would get worried. But it's like
I'd barely touch his nose, and it
would just go.
Blood would just pour. I'm like, damn, and that sucks. Cause does that make you tired?
It was frustrating because it's like after that you're breathing through your mouth the whole time because it's like you're clogged up. So then I would go back to the corner and they'll clean me up, and then I'd come back the next round. I was the same thing. So it was frustrating.
For how many years did you go with the bleeding problem?
Ever since I started till last year when I was 18.
Wow.
This year is when I finally got that cured.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll put that reliever at the end, the link.
Link in the description.
Go to Mexico because man, I tried so many things here.
Well, how much did it cost?
Dude, honestly, the treatment over there was like I think a total of like $80. It wasn't that expensive. But you go here, they put me to sleep. They put they tried zapping me, and it was like here the treatment is expensive. I don't remember how much it was because I was a kid, but it was expensive. And you go to Mexico and it's like, man, it did the trick and it's cheap.
Yeah, everything in Mexico is
right.
cheap,
man. Dentist, go to Mexico.
Man, I just want to go back for the food. I love the food over there. I ate so much. Oh my god, I fought at 115, right? And then I jumped up. I don't usually jump this heavy. My last fight, I didn't jump that heavy. My last 2 fights, I didn't jump that heavy. But my second fight in Mexico, I weighed in at 115, and then that same day, I gained like 13 pounds right away. Well, I don't know. Some people that's like nothing, but like, man, the food there is so good. I want to go back.
So you fought in TJ and in Rosarito,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Tell us about those experiences, the crowds there in TJ, because I know they have a lot of fights, right?
Yeah. So my first fight and my second fight is kind of like, have you guys played Fight Night before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you start in the beginning of your career, right? And you're fighting in these like small little clubs and stuff like that, and like these mini bars. And I'm like, damn, this feels like Fight Night right now. It really
is.
Yeah, but no, it was the first time I got in the ring as a pro. I was like, damn, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. I got to do it. But a lot of adjusting for me, because I was all pro style and amateur styles are very different. I still had a bit of the amateur style, even till this day. I still do. It's just, for me, adjusting to it is a lot different. For Victor, it's a little bit easier because he already had that kind of pro style from the beginning and is already working with a lot of pros. But when I first started, I was still sparring amateurs, and then I went to pros. But no, dude, I love Mexico. The fights, the food over there, the people over there is nice. Everything over there is not everything, but would I go back? Yeah, I'd go back.
Nice.
Can you
I
say
like
anything
that.
in Spanish?
Queso?
How's your Spanish, Victor?
Well, I think my Spanish is super good. As kids, that's all we were speaking.
Can
at
you
home.
read?
Yeah, I can read, write, everything. Just because at home, my parents always
Las
forced
novelas.
us to novelas. They would always force us to speak Spanish, like English with your friends, but at home, Spanish.
Same here.
And it became a habit, and it's I'm fluent in Spanish. I can write, I can read, so I'm good.
No, that's good, man. I mean, I feel like that opens up a lot of opportunities too. Like, like when they're saying, Andy Ruiz, the first Mexican heavyweight champion, and then you hear him in interviews, you're just like, ugh.
I know, man.
Oh, dude.
It's like, I remember they interviewed him after this fight, and he said, like, he was trying to apologize, and he's like, los perdono. So it's
He said that.
Really?
Los perdono.
yeah, and then
man.
so it's like, I thought, I was like, oh, thanks, like, thank you for forgiving me. It's like, man.
So instead of saying sorry, he said, I forgive you.
Yeah, I
guys."
forgive you.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's embarrassing.
Man.
And you listen to corridos and all that
I
stuff?
listen to corridos, norteños, banda, all that, mariachi. That's what I grew up with.
Nice. So we had El Moreno boxing. We were just talking about like the importance of being a showman, and one of the things was like the entrance. So I guess he came out to a horse, right? He came on a horse.
with a horse one fight.
Yeah, and so like we were like, I guess he didn't even know about it, right? They kind of just did like spur
on
the
the
moment
fly.
on the fly. So do you guys have anything crazy you guys like would want to do for ring entrances or any ideas?
I think I would want to come out with banda.
Okay.
With banda, with the horse stuff, that'd be cool. But, with the banda, but I just need to get up into the big stages first.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have this vision.
Okay.
Tell us.
I'm gonna be
Describe it.
either on. Hold on, it's coming. I'm gonna be either on DAZN or Showtime.
Hey.
Main event. And the rapper Logic will be rapping, walking me in, and then everyone's gonna go crazy, and then I
Dope.
win.
Nice.
That's a vision. And then
Hey.
after that, I get my Lambo, and
Hey.
I don't really like supercars that much. If anything, probably most like a GTR, but
Hey.
That's it, yeah.
that's it. Not much.
Can you recite any Logic verses?
Ooh.
Oh shoot, you got me on the spot. I was
It's
gone
different
for
when you're
a
on the-
minute. Now I'm back now. Sit the foot back. I can't rap like him now.
It's
But-
different on the mic, so. He said in front of the mirror works.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, I like Logic. A little bit, like a lot of his old stuff I really like too. But yeah.
Yeah.
What was the Under Pressure, right?
Under Pressure, that was
Yeah.
the first album. But I liked his mixtape stuff too, because it's
okay.
very chill, relaxing.
How do you guys feel about Tekashi? I know there was some news about him today.
Was there?
That he's getting 2 years.
2?
Yeah.
2.
But he already served one, supposedly, yeah.
No, I don't even know
Yeah.
anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Kodak in jail, or like what's the case with him?
I think he has a pending case or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know too much about Tekashi. I just know he snitched or something like that.
Bro, he told on his mama.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't listen to rap, but I remember seeing like Tekashi on Instagram. Dude, that guy was hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's how I know him. But I think like he got into a lot of trouble, and he went from like 46 years to 2 years. I was like, man,
crazy, bro. What'd you tell these people?
I'm not gonna lie though, but his verse when him and Trippie Redd did a song. Tekashi's verse was so bad. Like, it just didn't match the song at all. Like, man, if you listen to it, his voice just didn't match the mood of the song. I'm like, oh, man, that sucked.
We're not claiming him, right?
We're not.
No, we're not claiming that.
The reason I bring that up is because, like, another big news, like, today was, like, the day, like, the word of the day is probably accountability today with that, and then with Trump getting impeached and the process of impeachment, politics. What do you guys think about that?
I haven't read too much. I just got out of the gym. We went straight over here. From my understanding that he got, he's getting impeached and it still has to go through Senate, which will most likely probably just die out at that point. But from what I heard, he's not getting like removed from office if impeachment does go like, as accordingly. But I don't really have too much like a take on it because I haven't like read too much about it.
Yeah, I'm not like too into politics, but I heard that and I was like, that's good news for Mexicans, right? Yeah, like I'm Mexican, so it's like, for me, get him out of there, man.
Yeah,
I think good news for anybody with like common sense or some type of I don't know what the word would be.
Decency, I guess.
Any word, same here. I haven't heard too much about it, but it still has to go through another branch, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, with me, it's just more like I'm kind of just surprised because like he's done so much stuff, and it's like, but yet nothing has happened until today. So I'm like, okay, something finally happened. Okay,
it's like the year before he's like done serving, but at least he can't, he can't be reelected.
Yeah.
So at least we get that satisfaction.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang.
Man. Yeah. I mean, there's boxing politics and boxing too.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about certain things? Like, you guys are young, so like, what are some of those boxing politics that you guys see right now?
A lot of amateurs, they say there's like a lot of politics in boxing, which there is, but there is a lot of politics, especially like sometimes there'll be officials from the same club as kids, and then the people side with those kids just because they're from that club when they're officials and stuff like that. But the way how I look at it, and I kind of learned it a little bit later during my amateur career, is that don't take. We were just talking about this in the car actually. You just. If you lose, you feel like you do get robbed. People will tell you if you got robbed. And it's probably just best not to say like, "Oh yeah, I got robbed," and go out and about and tell people, "Oh, I got robbed. Oh, they stole the fight from me and stuff like that." It's just best to, like I lost, whatever, And then when people see the fight, "Oh yeah, dude, you got robbed." Like, "Oh yeah, it's whatever,"
Yeah, I think. What we were talking about earlier. I have a dear friend, Ray Beltran, who I was also sparring in February.
Saludos.
Yeah, saludos to Ray Beltran. He always says boxing is a son of a he always says that a lot of people that are up there maybe shouldn't be, but they knew how to get up there. Social media, and there's people that are struggling to get up there when they should be up there because they deserve it, because they're good, but like I said before, we don't have the that support that we need. So we have to start from the bottom and make our way up.
And Ray, he always seems like that type of person, right? Like, you take your losses, you take your wins, and you just keep working.
Yeah.
Right? Try to get better.
Yeah, definitely. And he always tells me, like, don't ever get discouraged by what people tell you, because, everyone's going to talk. Everyone's going to talk. A lot of people good, a lot of people bad. But I think both sides can be bad. You know, if you let all that good talking get to your head. Look at what happened to Andy Ruiz. Maybe all of that got to him. The bad talking too, it can get to you. But you know what? It's best just to stay focused on what your dream is and your mentality. You know, keep working hard.
Nice.
One of my favorite quotes is, "You're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are."
Yeah,
And that's pretty true.
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
Is it me or the Andy Ruiz and Joshua fight? It's kind of like a heavyweight version of like the Duran and
Sugar
yeah.
Ray Leonard.
Yeah, it's kind of like it because you know Anthony Joshua was supposed to win that fight, but you know everyone was thinking Anthony Joshua was going to win that fight. Then all of a sudden, boom, upset Andy Ruiz, and then next thing you know, second fight, Andy Ruiz gains like 40 pounds.
Yeah,
Man.
that is true.
What do you guys think about like that? That's a very famous quote in boxing, right? The no mas. Like, how do you guys feel about guys quitting in the ring?
I think if you quit in the sport, honestly,
That's a tough
it's
topic.
my personal opinion, man.
Yeah.
But like maybe like you just weren't made for the sport, man. Like, dude, I don't see myself quitting. I don't see any like actual fighter quitting just because growing up, it's like you're taught to fight through pain, fight through all of this. You know, I think
Get up, don't cry.
Yeah, we're expected to get up even when you know maybe the odds are against us. So I think quitting for me is not an option.
What about you, Jesse?
Yeah, same here. You know, like just doing this, like, you know, my whole life. And there was times when, you know, like I wanted to quit when I was a kid, especially. I was like, man, I already lost like 3 amateur fights. Do I really want to be in the sport? You know, there's times like that where like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore. But you know, you're always gonna find your way back if you really want it. You know, it's not something where like someone's gonna force you. Like, you know, when you're a kid, your parents force you to do stuff. No, it's like if you really want it, you're gonna find a way to do it. You know.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you guys a question that I asked some of the young fighters that have been on our show. When was the moment or the moments when you guys realized like I am a fighter, like I am put on this earth to be a boxer fighter?
Dude, probably right after like my first 2 months of boxing. You know, I would go to school and, you know, people already know I'm a boxer and stuff like that. So like my first 2 months of school, like in I was like 5th grade or 6th grade. I can't remember if 5th or 4th grade. But no, I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to say because I don't know. I always wanted to become a pro fighter ever since I was a kid. I don't know, you know how kids always wanted to be like a fireman or a police officer, and they never end up being those. Like, no, I knew it from when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. Like, man, I want to be a pro fighter.
Yeah, I think me too as a kid. Just when I would talk about boxing, it's like, you know, like my eyes would light up, and it's like I felt like a rush like run through me, like excitement, and it's like that's when I knew that boxing was for me. You know,
you're
because
gay, bro.
No, it's like just, man, like
I'm just kidding.
Bleep that out.
It just really got to me. It was like, man, me talking about boxing and it felt me feel like it made me feel proud of myself. So that's when I knew, like, man, boxing, that this is for me. This is what I was meant to do. And so when I finally got into the pros, my first fight 2 weeks ago, I got into the ring, and just walking there, you know, the walk in, when they raised my hand, it feels great. Like I loved every single second of it. But what I would like to say was the first round when they rang the bell, just like Jesse said, like, this is the real stuff, dude. I got in there, and I was like,
Yeah,
dude, I don't have a headgear. I don't have a headgear. I was like, but then I got hit, and it's like, I'm ready for this.
different,
This is what I was meant for.
Nice.
Yeah.
But did you take any tough shots on that first fight? Like any?
People say that there was like 2 shots where it looked like, you know, he got me solid, but honestly, I told Jesse, it's so weird. I don't know if it was just so much adrenaline running through like my body that I didn't feel it. Like I know it connected. Like I felt the glove, but like I didn't feel.
I think
like,
a lot of it
stunned or anything.
I feel like a lot of it has to do with like the adrenaline and like the sweat or the Vaseline on your face that slides off or something. Because when I fought my fight at Pico Rivera, and people say that like I got hit hard. Even your dad said it, like, oh, at least we know you got a chin, you know. But the punches were. It didn't seem really that hard, you know.
I think it's the adrenaline, man. Like I didn't feel it. It's crazy.
When you guys see like these fighters, I mean, you have certain type of fighters that you're gonna fight, you're expected to win, but at the same time, these fighters have been in there with other up and coming, other undefeated fighters. Do you guys, you know, what do you guys do to not get overconfident with these type of fights?
You just put all the work in the gym. That's all it is, really. With any fighter, you shouldn't underestimate anyone, anybody. You know, it's. Yeah, just say it just like that. Even in the amateurs, you fight people like you think that they don't have much experience. You go up in the ring with them like, okay, these guys know some. You know, it's just taking everything with a grain of salt. You know, that's all it is. Just put all the work in the gym, because you know a hard training camp makes an easy fight, but that's not all the time. It's not always
Yeah, and this is boxing, so you know anything can happen. A punch can change the whole fight.
Oh yeah.
And my dad has always told me, you know, hey, no boxer's a bum. No boxer's a bum, because he also wants to get you out of there, and you know he's also training. You know, he's also training and working to win. He also wants to win. So that's why I never underestimate any opponent. You know, I train hard, and I try to prove that I do train hard.
Right.
So the new year is coming up, right? 2020. You guys have any specific goals? Anything you want to accomplish? Specific number of fights you want to have next year? Anything like that?
Here, this is the thing, for me. Here's this thing for me. Why the hell you wait a whole ass year to set a goal? Like it really took you a year to realize you're fucking up. No, really, no. But yeah, it's good. Like I'm not against like with people making New Year's resolutions. Like okay, yeah, it's good. Let's start that head start. You know, or not head start because you're kind of like a year late. But yeah, let's make some changes during the year. But man, it starts with as like corny as it sounds like, dude, it starts like right now. You know, you got to start your stuff.
Yeah.
Do your stuff right now. It doesn't start on January 1. Yeah, but yeah, it starts from when you wake up to how your day is going. You know, it's not first quarter, second quarter, 1 year. No, it's right now.
I think my all-time goals for next year is getting signed by Top Rank. You know, right now they're giving us help, but I just want to get signed by them and make it official.
Oh yeah,
that's my goal for next year, and but we're working hard for that. See what happens.
Dope.
Yeah. Do you guys like get advice on promotional companies, like really looking through the paperwork, making sure it's a good deal, or like how do you guys go about that as young fighters? Like advice on signing with promotional companies, looking over paperwork, getting lawyers. Like how?
I think. Well, even as a kid, my dad has always told me, like, don't ever sign anything without reading it and, you know, show it to me. But Rey Beltran, like I said, you know, he became such a good friend to us. He became a mentor to me. And he always told me, you know, if you want, you know, like, I'll even read it. But, you know, don't ever sign anything without getting a second opinion on it, you know. So that's what I've been getting.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, probably same thing. I can't really say too much because I haven't got presented with the opportunity. All I know is the way how I see it. Like if I see a promoter that's doing successful with their fighters, it'll probably be a good idea. But then again, at the end of the day, you're the fighter. You know what's good for yourself. Not to say like, you know, anything about like picking your fighters and stuff like that, you know, because I know a lot of fighters do that. But, you know, taking care of yourself, especially because you don't know. Maybe some of these promoters are nice people. Some of these promoters, you know, they just care about themselves making the money for that fight. or sometimes they'll lie to your face, and instead of building you up, they're building someone else up. You never know.
Yeah. That's true. Because we had one of our friends, Anthony Sims Jr. Goes by the Magician, and I guess he was offered how much? 50,000 to sign this contract
In a bag.
In a bag. So we think about that as like who? I think Gio. I think
he was like what, 18, 19?
He was like 18,
That's
19.
tempting.
Yeah, exactly. And Gio, I think he made the comments like, what 18, 19, 20-year-old would turn down 50,000, right?
Yeah.
In a bag.
In a bag.
Here you go. Sign the contract. It's all yours.
Hey, put a bag in front of me right now. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think it was Don King that offered him that, right?
Was it Don?
I think it was Don King, and so we already knew like the fame that Don has, and
the
so
reputation.
yeah, so like I guess his mom told him like don't sign nothing yet, like let's get it lowered, let's see this, and so yeah, but yeah, the question is that like if you're someone offers you 50,000 cash, like sign this, like how do you guys go about that being so young? That's so much money.
It really is tempting, but coming from nothing. Like, I'm not gonna say I didn't have like nothing like from dirt broke, but I've been through shit, but that's very tempting, especially you never held that kind of money before. Very tempting. Like I'm telling you right now, if there's 50,000 right now, I'll be like, I don't know.
It's looking at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I already spent half of that in my head.
Yeah. And that's the thing also, like a lot of fighters get mismanaged, and that's the downfall of their careers.
Yeah.
You just gotta think for yourself and don't let other people think for you as well, because in the end of the day, this is your health. No money could replace your health.
Yeah. Same one.
I think, like Jesse said, it is tempting. But my mom always told me, that's why we go to school, like go to school and, that way you know what you do with your money, that way you're never that way people never make a fool of you, that way they never play you. And I think that maybe you don't have to go to school to realize when people are trying to fool you, but money's always tempting, and I think just be careful, because if they're offering you so much, there always may be, that little sketch.
Hey, and there's a reason why that 50,000 was in the bag. There is a reason, instead of through a check or something like that. Because dude, it's right there, and like you said, what kind of 18-year-old, 19-year-old would turn down a $50,000 bag?
Yeah. I think he was I think he still got a lawyer, right? But even then, they read through it. But Don King, sneaky.
Yeah.
I think he was frozen for a year and a half.
He was stuck in that contract for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he couldn't get fights for a year and a half. So I mean, and that's during those times where you want to get a lot of fights as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. But let's talk about. Did you guys catch any fights last weekend? I know you guys probably saw the highlights of Teofimo.
That's
Lopez, right?
All I saw, just the Teofimo Lopez, but it was 2 rounds.
Yeah,
2 rounds.
Yeah, I just saw the highlights on Instagram. I was like, man, this guy's mean.
Yeah. I was expecting Teofimo to, hurt him, but I didn't think so early in the fight. Having it that Richard Commey was so experienced. He had just been in the ring with Ray Beltran.
Yeah.
So he's experienced, he's skilled, and I didn't think that Teofimo would get him out of there so quick.
Yeah.
It shows something.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was very impressive, man. I was barely sitting down, getting comfortable, and it was a wrap.
I think I messaged you. I was like, hey, I'm on my way. You're like, it's already over. I'm like, what?
Dog, where are you going?
That's what my sponsors told me when they went to see me on my last fight. They're like, oh, yeah, Jesse's fighting right now. Everyone went up. And then he asked someone oh, did Jesse already fight? Yeah, oh, it just ended. I was like, oh, shit, my bad. I should have played it out a little bit longer.
Man.
Yeah, so he became the new IBF champion.
IBF champion.
Right? He's supposed to fight Loma next.
We'll
see if that happens.
Yeah, and then like Vic said, I was surprised that it ended so early because Commey is experienced. As the Teofimo, I mean, they said, and we saw he struggled a little bit with his previous opponent, an experienced opponent as well. You got Commey, who's been in there with, he's done, 10, 12 rounders.
Yeah.
Very surprised second round. Very, very surprised.
Yeah.
But I mean,
just comes to show that One punch can just end it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Commey was actually landing pretty good punches in the first
Yeah.
round. And, you mentioned, the struggle or whatever you want to call it in his last fight, Teofimo.
Yeah.
But I feel like this makes him a better fighter, that struggle, having to go through that. And then even this, fighting an experienced guy, taking him out in 2 rounds. I feel like he's better prepared now to fight Loma as opposed to a year ago.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's every fight is a learning experience. You learn from every single fight. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, especially as 15.
Yeah,
15
that's
professional
crazy.
fights. Damn. So we'll see what happens with that. What do you guys think about Lomachenko?
I really hope Loma beats him. I really do. I like Loma. I like Lomachenko. I swear I haven't seen that footwork in like anyone. That guy's insane.
His style is his training style is very unorthodox.
Yeah.
You see the way he trains is not just boxing. There's a whole bunch of like stuff that people don't do or wouldn't even be willing to do.
Ukrainian dance. You guys consider taking that?
No.
No.
The only time I see that footwork is in las fiestas. They're doing the
Yeah.
You ever see like you ever see like those chubby people dancing like cumbias and they're like light as a feather, dude? It's crazy.
Man. So who do you guys have for that fight?
For
Loma Teofimo.
I think Lomachenko. I don't know. I like Lomachenko from the beginning. He's one of my idols. Rigondeaux is one of my idols.
Yeah.
I think Loma, because of the counters, the angles. I think maybe, and he's not dumb. He's gonna go in there. Obviously he's gonna respect Teofimo's power.
Yeah.
So he's gonna probably go in there. Study him the first few rounds, box him, and then after that he can work upon it.
Yeah, his IQ is like on another level, dude.
I know, man.
I remember one of his fights, I think it was against Pedraza. The commentator, in the second or third round, he's like, "Oh, all Loma's doing now is just like downloading the data."
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's like the perfect way to put it. He's just downloading the data, and then once it's in, it's like, I know what to do now.
Damn, high
That's
tech.
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think Teofimo does have the size advantage in that fight, though, right? They're saying he's struggling a little bit to make that weight, and he'll probably move up maybe next year or so, right? But he does have that advantage and possibly the power.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he has size and power.
Should be interesting, but I hope Loma too takes that one if it happens next year.
Yeah. It looks like it's very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. And it looks like Teofimo's willing, and with these mandatories that you have to either like take it or vacate.
That's a new thing, huh? Like
Vacate.
they're just, all right, you gotta fight this guy next, right? All these.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like Canelo just vacated his belt.
He just vacated his belt.
Yeah. Joshua already has mandatories that he has to take care of. Right, so they're keeping him busy.
Right away, huh?
Yeah. What do you guys think about divisions and multiple belts and all that? Is it good or bad for boxing?
I think it's good. I would want to. Man, Manny is like what, an 8 division world champ, right?
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're truly blessed, and you have the skill to go up 8 divisions. But yeah, it's good for boxing. If your body could handle going up that much, or because your body is growing also at the same time you're fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good for boxing.
Nice.
I think so many belts in a division is I think in like
in one, you're talking about in like one division, or
I mean like as a whole, I guess.
Well, because the belts, the number has been expanded, and the divisions, right? Every 5 pounds is like a new division now.
Yeah, and also I know there's like some bullshit belts that they're giving now, right?
Yeah, that's
the
like
silver, North American belt, I don't know what.
The franchise and all that. Like I don't like that.
I don't.
Because I think that it decreases the the value of
being
winning a championship.
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
Because now it's like there's more than one champion in a division. And it's like Canelo's like franchise champion, whatever that is. Like I still don't get that. It's like, dude, man, I don't like that. I think that it really just decreases the value of being a champion.
But have they always gave like 10 rounders belts or no?
Well, if it's interim, right?
If it's interim, yeah.
Yeah. But I think Cynthia Conte probably described it the best. She was here last week, fellow Filipino. She was here, and she described it as well, according to WBC, it's like the lineal championship, the franchise belt, right? Are you guys familiar with the lineal championship?
Yeah.
It's not really a championship, but it's more like a belt, right? That's what they're describing it as.
Or a title, right?
Title.
They're giving you like just power, you know?
Yeah. But even then, it's tricky because like Devin Haney, they just upgraded him to the real champion, right? Like, what do you feel? How do you feel about that? If you have like the interim one and they're just like, hey, guess what? You're the champion now.
When like in the past you had to have an actual fight to win that belt.
I don't like that either. I think that, you know, if you're an interim champion, like, dude, you got to fight for it. You know, you got to earn your spot. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he's talented. He's good. You know, maybe he'll get there. But it's like, I feel like it would be so much better for you to fight your way there, you know, rather than them handing it to you.
It's like you're in that last mile with the marathon and just like, hey, you're good. You finish.
You don't even have to
Come
finish,
on, get some water. You're good.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think it's good for boxing. But, I mean, it is what it is.
What do you guys think about the KSI Logan Paul event? Is that good for boxing? You guys are like young.
I think there's two ways to look at it. Yes and no. Because boxing fans don't give a shit about like YouTubers. But yeah, I mean, if it's gonna bring like a lot of the young crowds, because half of the people or majority of the people that watch KSI and Logan Paul are like 12-year-olds. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. They're, you know, that way influence those kids into boxing. I guess you could say is good. But yeah, that fight's they only fought twice. I don't think they're gonna fight any more times after that. But yeah, it's good, you know, because I noticed there's like a lot of like celebrity boxing now. I know who's that dude? There's KSI, and then there's Fuzzy Tubes fought another YouTuber. You know, I think it's like okay, moderate for boxing.
I think, like Jesse said, if it's in that case, like for bringing a bigger crowd into boxing, that's cool. But I think they headlined that card, right?
4-round fight.
That's what I didn't like. It's like, for one, it's a 4-round fight, and they're not even.
I think it was 6. This
6.
one was 6.
Oh, okay. Well, they were
6, but
they
still
were
not
YouTubers.
like.
It's like, dude.
But I think because they're you know, that was like the main event for it. But then again, yeah, you're right. You know,
I mean,
4
yeah,
rounds,
like,
you know?
okay, but if
but
that's
they
gonna
sold
be
like hella tickets.
if that's gonna be a main attraction, then I think it then make a whole card of YouTubers, because it's
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree.
you're
Stay in
right,
your
you're
own like
right.
lane in your own arena. Have
You're
your
right.
own.
Yeah, it's like make
YouTube
a whole
celebrities,
because I'm sure there's a lot of other
Dude, you're
YouTubers
right.
out there trying to make money.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they'll be willing to, but then for them to headline like actual boxers, you know, working like full on like training camps, like
kind of
intense.
humiliating.
I think it's like, just like I said about the belts, like it really just decreases the value of being a fighter. It's like, because now anyone can headline, you know.
That's
so
true.
It's, I don't like that. And then I think for the first card, when they had fought the first time, that was like a card for just YouTubers, right?
Yeah, because the
And
headgear and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think WBC made a belt for them, right? I think for the brother, what's his name? The other Paul.
I don't know.
Was it like the YouTube belt or something?
Yeah. And I was like, man, they're making belts for everything now. It's like, I don't like that either.
They're probably gonna start selling belts at Ross too,
I know.
like the regular dressing belts.
The little green belt.
I'm against all of that, man.
Okay.
I'm against all of that.
No, I agree with that part. Like, they mixed it up with real boxing. Like, if you guys make your own event, like on the side with YouTube celebrities, have your YouTube commentators, all that stuff, like it's cool. Yeah. But you're actually putting guys who are champions on the undercard, right? Devin Haney, they had Billy Joe Saunders. I think that made it a little weird. I don't know. It was just like a weird feeling. Yeah. But at the same time, we talked about the importance of selling tickets and being out there. Hey, these guys did it.
Yeah, they did.
They brought in people to the Staples Center. They put in more people in there than Errol Spence and Sean Porter, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I'm pretty sure, watching the Zone that night just for that fight. So, in that aspect, I respect the hustle too.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
The tickets were cheap as hell. They're like $18.
Really?
Yeah. Well, for like the ones up there, but yeah, they're like $18, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it's bringing a bigger crowd into boxing, then in that sense, then.
But yeah, I agree. Like, they should make it all YouTubers and you know, not degrade like fighters that, you know, is really about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. Same thing. Whole round. Yeah, and I didn't like that feeling that I guess they wanted to bring in fans, but it kind of just felt like the fans. Those fans were just there for that night, and they're gone. I don't know. That's how I got that sensation.
Yeah, I don't think that was very successful in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
how many of those kids are gonna watch the next Devin Haney fight or the
Yeah,
next
that's
Billy
true.
Joe Saunders fight?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think too many.
Yeah, unless like they showed like I don't know, maybe clips throughout the night of their lives, like get in depth, try to get them to connect. But I don't think they did that. I didn't see a lot of that that kind of content.
I don't even watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No, dude, I wouldn't support any of that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm totally against that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's respectable. I mean, as a boxing fan, it's just it's a weird feeling. Like
Yeah.
you said, these guys are boxing since they were 5-6 years old, and then these guys who've done it for a year
It's like all
get
of
the
a sudden-
millions, get
Was
the
it
fame.
even a year?
Well,
They've
I
been
mean,
boxing
yeah, I
for
think
a
it
year?
had been a year because for the first fight, since the first fight, I think it had been a
Something
year,
like
right?
that.
So,
Yeah.
but even then, when it's not equal to starting at 5 years old, fighting for your whole life.
Yeah, man. What else? What else we got?
Well, Logan's Paul's podcasts are pretty entertaining, though.
Oh, he has
Yeah.
a podcast?
Yeah, yeah. What was it called? Impulsive or something like that? Yeah, they're pretty funny.
Yeah. Something that I did see, and I told you, I talked about this on other podcasts, that they were pretty funny, entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just messing with the camera, like winking, like doing a bunch of funny shit. I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
funny.
White boy was doing snow angels in the dressing room. I don't want to watch this fight, but I tuned in and I was entertained. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was entertained.
Yeah. Are there any other other fighters that you guys, see on TV right now? Like, okay, I'm gonna try to. Do you take some stuff from them, either, some of their styles or some of the stuff they do in social media? Like, what are some things that you learn from some of the fighters that maybe have more fights, have like around the same age range as you guys?
One thing I do take account of is that the fighters that don't take day offs, like after the fight, you got to be back, not into camp, but you got to stay ready,
Mm-hmm.
Like I do see that with not too many fighters actually.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is a big thing because promoters are always looking towards that. Just like Victor, like right after his fight, he was back in training, probably not like going crazy, but he's staying ready.
Yeah, I was back in the Monday after the fight. Like Jesse says, just staying ready, maintaining weight, because the way I eat. If I'm not working out, man, yeah. So
Bro, how much you weigh right now?
155.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have all tamales and pozole for Christmas, or are you gonna try to limit that?
No.
Oh,
No.
fuck.
I'm gonna go over there now. I'm gonna be working out too.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna be running.
Bro,
and
you
we're gonna
act
find
like-
a gym.
You act like that workout is gonna do anything with all the food you're gonna eat.
Well,
man.
yeah, true, but at least it'll maintain the weight a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I gotta get it sweated.
Won't be no
If not-
Andy Ruiz or nothing like
Yeah,
that.
no.
So you guys have known each other for 10 plus years, right? About?
Yeah, like
You
more
guys-
than that probably, because I've been boxing for 11 years plus, I think.
Yeah, I think around there. I've
Yeah.
been boxing, for 14 years since
get-
I was 5.
All right. You guys have any embarrassing stories of each other?
Oh,
Embarrassing stories. Oh, well, that one time we went to. It's not embarrassing, but that one time we went to Reno.
Yeah.
And we're like walking around the hotel, and then we saw like Devin Haney.
Yeah, he
walking
was, like,
around,
dogging
and
him, huh?
he was dogging him.
Really?
Yeah, he
I
was
was like,
dogging.
man, I'm not even in your weight class.
Yeah, he was like dogging like wait, he can't be mad dogging me, dude. I like fight at 106
Yeah,
or
that's
at 108. I fight at 108,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, the only one that's close to his weight class would be you. I'm like,
Yeah, it was
like,
funny because I was, we were minding our own business, but
Mhm.
then again, it's just that fighter mentality. It's like,
Yeah.
you see another boxer, and it's like,
that's the rival.
that may be him, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's just that, but yeah, that was funny.
That's funny.
I remember back in boxing 2000, like me, you, and Luis after training, we'd go because the liquor store is like literally right there, and we'd like sprint all the way
Yeah.
down to the liquor store, and then what are those things that we used to get? Like they're like peanuts with like it's like covered
And like syrup, right? Like stuff like that, like something like that.
and then you put like sriracha on top of it.
What?
Like,
Bro, I don't
that's
even know.
weird.
Like,
Some
I don't
Asian
even
here.
know,
I'm gonna
man.
get you.
But yeah, I don't think we've had like embarrassing stories other than like, no, yeah, it's just.
He's like, none we're gonna share on air.
I can't find it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know anything about embarrassing. Yeah. I remember Mex Games, you couldn't come kick it with me and Raul and everyone.
Yeah.
You're like cutting weight and everything. Well, I wasn't even supposed to be there because I'm not even Mexican.
Yeah, it was a tournament for Mexican descendants.
Okay.
But we brought in Jessie. So it was like 6 of us like 5 of us in a room. Man, it was so funny. That was like one of the best tournaments I've been to, just because it was so fun. That's why I like tournaments. We got to stay in a hotel. Everything was paid for. Man, it was a good tournament.
But did you go to Desert Showdown?
The first year, no, but after that, I did.
Well, that was with who?
I think everyone went. I think it was Raul, Luis, you.
Everybody, right?
Yeah, I think it was like, that time it was like 15 of us and 13 brought home belts.
Were we ding dong ditching or no?
Well, yeah, no, but I think we did that.
Because
we did that in Reno.
We did that in Reno. Wait, no, I think
Wait,
we're hanging out with Team Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. we're like going like to doors and ding dong ditching it. One of my other friends from Hawaii, he's also a fighter.
Okay.
He I guess we're like casually walking down the hall. We weren't even doing it anymore, and all of a sudden randomly fucking kicks the door. It's like, wow. And I was like, oh shit.
Ding dong kick.
Ding dong kick.
Yeah,
that's what's in now? It's like, well, we can't use our hands. We're boxers.
But the East Coast fighters are crazy at the tournaments. I remember at Reno, there was like a bowling alley. They just went straight up into like the bowling alley. They grabbed like a whole bunch of bowling balls and just fucking throw them everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm pretty sure there's more stores. I just can't remember right now.
Yeah.
What's something that people don't know about Vic that only like you know, and vice versa?
Oh shit.
Shit.
Everyone knows he looks a little bit like Golovkin.
Okay.
Shit,
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, no wonder he looked familiar.
Yeah. Shit, I don't know, dude. Like I barely kick it with you outside.
It's just always been the gym since like we don't have a life outside of the gym. Well, we didn't. Now we do.
Yeah. I don't really think. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, dude. I can't remember.
Next time you come, you can answer that.
Yeah.
What about you, Vic?
Shit.
Yeah, what you know about me?
Yeah, what's
You
something
want to save it for next time?
what's something that people don't know about Jessie that they should know?
Let me see.
That's straight left?
I don't even know.
That's straight left?
No, that shit hurt at some point. Yeah. Until we stopped sparring, but he always had a good left. No, honestly, I don't know. I think
I remember before, like, when we were kids, I would always beat up Victor in sparring, and then once he got big, he started fucking me up. and then we realized that it's probably not good for sparring anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it would go like back and forth, but a lot of times I would get the better sparring of Victor, and then after that he got older and he got bigger and he started fucking me up. And I'm like,
yeah, that's when we noticed it's like the weight difference. It's like, yeah, we gotta chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your guys' record? I know it's like you guys don't have an exact number, but what's the ratio?
Well,
How many times have you like
Against each other.
Yeah.
Head
to head?
I don't know. It's like, yeah.
I'm sure he probably took the majority of the times, you know, because as a kid, like, I was always just like trying to get in there and punching hard as hell, and it's like he was like just fast, and he was like, so he tried to counter me, but between us, I think he took like the better part. Yeah, I gotta say.
I can't remember too much. It was so long ago, but yeah, I do. The only thing I really remember is just his nose bleeding all the time. That's what stops it.
Everyone, I think, like.
He's like, things are different now.
I know. Yeah,
they didn't give you a nickname, something.
Sangron.
It's
like sangron usually means like you're, you know, mean, like,
yeah.
You know, like, but no, they said sangron because I bled so much. It was,
Sangre por sangre.
if you guys like, I wish you guys like would see pictures or something. Like, it was so bad, man. My shirt was drenched. I couldn't even wear it again.
You just started wearing red shirts, huh?
Yeah, or like black.
Like,
tough question here. Tough question.
Yeah.
If you guys are around the same weight class as pros, say both of you guys are very successful, they put a contract on the table, right? Let's say $5 million a piece. They say, what's your dream venue? Let's say Staples Center or something, LA. to make it happen between y'all two?
Would you sign the contract?
He's my homie.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I.
I'm playing.
Honestly, I feel like it's like it would be like the Klitschko brothers, you know, like they would never fight each other. So I don't think I'd be able to fight Jesse just because we've grown up together, and it's I know that there's boxers out there. It's like, oh yeah, he's my friend, this and that, but we've literally grown up together in the gym. So it's I don't think I would. You know, money's important, but shit. If they're offering $5 million,
$5 million.
Just
Not in back, a check. It's legit. It's a check.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna offer me $5 million with someone else. You know, if I'm worth that much, it's like I'm pretty sure I can get a contract like
Makes
close
sense.
to that big with someone else.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't
Jesse's
think
thinking about it over there.
He's like, really, dog? We're that cool.
If you say yes,
Jesse's like, let's just draw, man. Let's draw.
No,
Down
I'm
the
playing.
middle.
I'm playing.
you're going walking on the way.
So you got lift now.
No, as long as we go eat after that, I'm cool.
Yeah. Wait, after the fight or-
After the fight?
Oh, okay.
After the fight, we cool. We gotta go eat.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we're about what? And now almost an hour 20 in. Any last stuff you guys want to mention, talk about? I know you have your fight. That's supposed to happen this Sunday, right? You have any updates on that you can talk about?
Yeah. It's gonna be on December 22nd, Sunday. It's gonna be on Quiet Canyon Country Club.
Montebello, California.
Montebello.
Yeah, not sure why it's at a country club, but yeah, it's at a country club. Yeah, that's where it's gonna be at. The opponent pulled out the first time, so right now they're still looking for opponent, and I got a couple days left and whatnot, but I'm already on weight, so I'm not really tripping too hard.
Cool.
What about for you? Any updates on your young career?
They were telling us February 8th.
Title shot?
No. I wish.
Lomachenko's second fight, yeah?
No, I wish. But no, they're telling us February 8th. But we'll see, because there's also another card in March, which is going to be more local to our gym and everyone around us. So we'll see. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, any updates you have, sir?
Any updates? No, just we're excited to be there to call the fight. This Sunday. Usually we call them Saturdays, right? But I mean Sunday.
Friday or Saturday. Now it's a Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Right after church.
Yeah.
If you go. Yeah, that should be interesting, man.
That's
the
right.
end of the year.
I could still go to church that day, huh? Yeah, I'll probably go to church.
Yeah, I know Pacquiao goes to church somewhere local, right? I mean, I know he's in the Philippines now, but I know there's a church down.
I'm not too sure where he goes to church when he's here, but all I know is really religious. But yeah, I'm not sure where he goes to church.
Are you guys religious at all?
I go to church every Sunday. At least I try to. But like I was a born Catholic, but then I kind of like the Christian teachings better. Yeah, not too crazy religious, but I do notice, like, ever since I've been starting to go to church, I just kind of let things slide, especially with, like, road rage, you know. I'm more, like, calm and understanding with people, you know. That's...
Like, I don't hook anybody anymore?
No more. No more.
Is that the same one, Vic?
I think he's ducking this.
No, honestly, I think I'm the same as Jesse. Like, I was a born Catholic, but I don't go to church. Like I'm thankful for everything I have, and I believe in God and everything. But I just don't go to church. You know.
I'll take you. We'll go next week.
We'll get baptized.
I think I'm busy that week.
Well, you'll be in Mexico, no?
Yeah.
Where are you going to?
Obregon, Sonora. Yeah.
Nice.
Puro party.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I went to Mexico for the first time, like, in almost 20 years this year.
Dang.
It was cool.
Where to?
I went to Cancun. Went to my sister's wedding.
Casi nada.
So it was cool.
Casi nada.
No, but you do notice that difference. Like, people are a little more, like, they appreciate the little stuff a little more.
Yeah, definitely.
Like even if you give them like a $2 tip that you have in your pocket, like you're just like, hey, this is all I got.
They're
They're
so
like
grateful for
thankful.
everything,
They
yeah.
appreciate that
And
so
it's like,
much.
If you know, everyone over there, it's like you don't see like homeless people literally not working for anything. No, like they at least try. You know, like when we get a red light in Mexico, they'll jump onto your car and they'll like you know, wipe down your windows and they'll you know, they'll try to get, you know, a few pesos or something, anything.
Yeah, I noticed that at the border that there would be people like wiping windows.
Did you get scared the first time they jumped on your car? It's like, what the heck is this guy doing?
At first, we were like, fuck, the car's clean. No, chill. It's why, I was like, why do you need to wipe it? If it's, like, dude, look, it's like clean.
Yeah.
But no, everyone over there is hard workers. Like, mostly everyone over there. Like, that's the first time I seen a mobile fucking gas station. They had like those people walking around with like a little gas tank.
Really?
Your car
What?
at the border. Yeah.
That is dope.
That's crazy. You know, like something I said, like, is the Mexican and Filipino cultures are very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar, very family oriented, culture rich. A lot of it, like a lot of our, you know, comes from poverty, and so we learn to appreciate the small things. Very community driven. It's not like here in America where it's very individualized.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everybody, especially like in the Philippines and Mexico, like if you don't eat unless everybody eats, like it's very, you know, so a lot of things in common, and so like it's very easy to connect with each other, I think.
Yeah.
I think I shared this story with Gio. One time we were gonna watch the Pacquiao fight, and we usually watch it at my grandpa's house, and our cable went out. Like something it went out.
Oh, shit.
His neighbor's Filipino.
Yeah.
And so like they're like, "You gonna see the fight?" And they're outside drinking beers, and we're like, "Nah, the thing went out." They're like, "Man, come on over, man." So my grandpa.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's how it is in Philippines. Like, say there's a fight, and you know, it's like in the squatter areas, like where, you know, a squatter area is like, you know, they built the house there themselves. You know, they make like a house and you know, whatnot area. But like someone's watching like TV in the area of like the Pacquiao fight, you'll see like a whole bunch of people walking over and like peeping through like the windows, and you know, like, because you know the houses are small, so that's the most that they could do. Like, yeah, everyone in Philippines is welcoming, you know.
Yeah, I used to have some Filipino neighbors. Like every time, like let's say Christmas or something, they would just knock on our door and just big old platter of food. Like,
oh yeah,
we'll make a lot of tamales. We'll go up there, get some tamales. Yeah,
trade.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll ask you one more question, because I know, like, in a way, it's around that weight class, and Nonito, they just fought. Did you catch that fight, and what were your thoughts on that fight?
On Nonito Donaire and
Inoue?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch.
Because it was very early.
Yeah.
It was like 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Something like that.
But I do know that from what I heard, and I did see some of the rounds that he gave Inoue one of his like his hardest fights. Yeah. But I think Nonito Donaire is like pretty. How old is he?
It's like 30, mid-30s, I think, or a little bit
36, 37,
around there,
something like that.
Yeah. Like that. But, you know, both fighters very humble. You know, that's the thing I like about him. But, yeah, it was a pretty good fight when I was watching some of the highlights of it. Yeah, I like both those two fighters. Yeah. And one of my friends helped, what's that guy's name again?
No, Inoue?
Yeah, he helped him prepare for that fight.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he gave him a broken nose. Nonito gave Inoue a broken nose, cuts all over his face, concussions.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a very good fight. Fight of the year candidate, in my opinion. Did you get to catch it?
I didn't. I only saw clips, but yeah, I was hearing that too, that it was candidate for Fight of the Year.
Yeah, he rocked Inoue a couple times, which, I mean, we were very impressed, right?
Yeah.
Especially when Nonito's age and, you know, Inoue knocking everybody out. His nickname is the Monster, right?
Prime,
and Inoue took him to, Nonito took him to deep waters, right?
Yeah.
At times, it looked tough.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, it's very interesting. I'm looking at the thing, and I see the Mexico flags. Like, how did that come about, you fighting in Mexico, making your pro debut in Mexico?
You know, at first, because no one really want to give us a chance over here in the U.S., so we just had to go to Mexico and get a fight. You know, it's kind of a bit harder. It's, you know, a lot more out-of-pocket costs. You know, we have sponsors, but, you know, we kind of have that, like, you know, we're kind of shy when we ask for, like, money like a lot, you know, even though it is gonna help us.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it came because, you know, we're promoters over here. We've been looking for a fight for a while, and then, you know, no one really wanted to give us a chance over here, especially for my weight class at 115. Like, as you could tell right now, it's pretty hard for me to get a fight with the situation I have now. But yeah, that's why we went down over there, and then, you know, made our way finally getting into some promotions over here.
Nice.
So yeah.
Were you nervous at all? No, like hearing that you were gonna fight a guy named Julio Cesar in your second fight?
No, not really. The guy looked nice though. He was cool. He's not like rude. Everyone I fought over there, they were never rude.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, venues were small or like.
The second time I fought the second time I fought in Mexico in Rosarito, the venue was pretty big, but it was just like looked like a basketball court, you know, a little PE ground or something, you know.
Okay, cool. I don't know why I just imagine the rings being super small, like the ring, I don't know why, like they liked the toe to toe, and so.
Yeah, and my first fight, that ring was small. You can't move around for shit.
Yeah.
But, my second fight, the ring was pretty big,
pretty
but
fair size.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we see you this Sunday.
Yeah.
December 22nd. Hopefully you get an opponent, because that looks like it's gonna be a good card, and great way to end the year, man.
Yeah. I got to, and it's my dad's birthday on Christmas, so, you know, this is a present.
There you go. Yeah, and the same thing with Big Man. Hope you fight somewhere like close, local, so we can come check you out too, bro.
Thank you,
for
man.
sure. We would love to come and see you fight, man. Everybody that we have on the show, we like to follow up on their careers. You know, if we can't be at the event, we at least like to catch their fights and see how you guys are progressing and stuff. Again, you guys are always welcome back. This is your home.
Thank you.
Whenever you guys need like anything, like you know, give us a shout out, send us a message. You know, we'd like to support you guys and follow you guys like on your career as you guys progress.
Sure. Thank you for having us, man.
I appreciate it.
Been a pleasure, man. Great talk, you know, but let's let people know where can they find you guys on the web.
So you guys can find me at V Rodriguez Official on Instagram, and Victor Alberto Rodriguez Godinez on Facebook.
And you can find me Jessie Mandapat, Jessie, last name Mandapat, Mandapat, on Instagram. That's probably the only like social media I really use. I do have a Facebook, but my dad usually posts stuff on his account, so I really don't have use for Facebook. Yeah, I usually on Instagram, so you can find me on there.
Nice.
Cool. And one last prediction. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. against Daniel Jacobs this Friday.
Daniel Jacobs. I think Daniel Jacobs.
Okay.
I think just the Mexican blood, you know, it's just I'm really hoping, like, dude, I don't know, something that he can do something, you know. Yeah. But just the Mexican blood is making me lean towards Chavez.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Jacobs, so same with you. I hope he finds something that he hasn't found in the last 3-4 years.
You know, he could do something. You know, he's been disciplined. That's what I've been following on Instagram, and you know, he's been getting his work done. So maybe this time that, you know, he got his stuff done. You know, he hasn't been struggling with weight. Yeah. Maybe he can do something.
And he can fight. That's the thing.
Yeah, he could be talented, but
he
like
fight.
He's lazy.
He has a chin as well.
He's a chin.
Just like his father.
He's got size.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking on that?
Isn't his skull is like the thickness like ×2 of an average skull?
Who, Chavez?
Senior.
Oh, Senior.
Yeah, I heard that. I remember I read that somewhere that his skull, like the width of his skull is like 2 times something like that. I don't know.
That guy was.
Yeah.
He has that Olmec head. Huh?
He does, man. That comes in handy because he had like over 100 fights. Damn.
Yeah.
That dude don't need a helmet.
Doesn't need headgear. Man. Yeah, for my prediction, I think discipline is key in this one, and we saw that how discipline played out in the heavyweight fight, and I think Jacobs just has more discipline.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna have to go with Jacobs on this one.
It should be interesting. Arizona, right? Is the venue?
Phoenix, yeah.
And then the zone. So we'll see what's up with that. And then we also have Harrison against Charlo, number 2. Saturday. You know, not a big fan of the Charlo twins, you know.
Yeah.
I want Harrison to win, but it's gonna look difficult, I think, man.
I
The
got
rematch.
Charlo.
I feel like you got Charlo.
I got
I feel like that person who loses the first fight, that second fight, they
find a way to.
like Anthony Joshua, he was 100% locked in. He's like, I'm gonna
yeah.
win this fight because I'm gonna win. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how, you know. And that's why I think. I hate to say it, but I might be leaning toward Charlo.
Yeah,
twin.
no,
Yeah.
I agree. I like Harrison more
Yeah.
as a person, as a trash
He's
talker,
funny.
as like real. He doesn't complain, whine. Like he even
Yeah.
was a gentleman after that fight, and he's like, I'm gonna give you the rematch. And I didn't like Charlie's reaction. And
Yeah.
And so yeah, the heart says like I want Harrison to win, but like if I had a
Yeah.
bet, I would have to put money on Charlo just because
Same.
of what you just said. He can't
Yeah.
afford to lose.
Yeah.
Can't afford to lose.
Mhm.
So yeah. What about you, Jess?
I don't even know these two fighters. To be honest.
I like this guy. This
People-
guy does not give a
people
shit.
kinda-
Yeah,
He does not give a
He's
shit.
like, I'm like in a my fight.
For
No,
real.
yeah, I heard Charlo, but I haven't. I don't really know
Mhm.
these fighters. I probably just haven't been watching boxing that much lately,
Mhm.
to be honest, because I'm just like so caught up in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not saying like my life is all crazy and everything, but you know, like so much things to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, any last shout outs y'all want to send? Any
Yeah,
people
something I
you-
want to ask you guys. You guys want to shout out to some, like tell us some who's in your team, you know, your folks, your trainers, your managers. You guys want to shout out?
Our gym.
Yeah.
Our gym, Grandpa's Boxing Gym, who's been there for us, you know, since day one.
Yeah.
Our conditioning coach,
Alex
Vaughn. My dad, who's in my corner. Obviously, he's been my coach and stuck
My
by my
dad.
side for 14 years.
Hey.
My dad, Jessica, the
Jesse's
owner of
dad,
Grandpa's.
who was also in my corner,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Jessica. Like to make a shout out to my
Mhm.
sponsors,
Mhm.
Car Specs, Saigon Sports Club. You know, man, I have a couple sponsors. It's hard to like name all of them, to be honest. Man4, Vision X. There should be a couple more. Let it process. I'll come back to that though. But
You want to
Yeah,
send
that's-
any saludos en español
Yeah,
para estos días festivos que vamos a tener?
para mi familia en México, sí, ojalá lo puedan ver. Rey Beltrán también, que ha sido un gran amigo, un mentor, y toda mi familia que pueda ver Muchas gracias por su apoyo.
Saludos a toda la familia. ¿De Obregón, Sonora?
De Obregón, Sonora
Hey,
y
de
Guadalajara,
Jalisco.
Jalisco también. Muchas gracias.
Come back, Jesse? No, not yet.
oh nope, I wasn't even thinking
Oh,
about
I
it.
still
no more.
loading. My only sponsor, Fam Gear, but we're working on it. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Yeah, man, I think it's always cool to see like the young fighters, man, starting from the bottom, dude, because that's where everybody starts. That's where everybody starts, and everybody has a dream. Everybody has aspirations. So it's pretty dope, man. Hopefully we can have you guys back someday.
Yeah,
You
thank
know,
you, man, with pleasure.
for sure. And hopefully we
Yeah,
see
thank
you Sunday.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys have a lot of fights. You know, guys early. You guys have to put in like those miles and, you know, and those all that road work, all that work you have to do.
Yeah.
And so if you guys ever fight locally, like hopefully you fight this Sunday. If not, like throughout the year, you guys fight locally. You know, like we would like to come and support. You know, if
thank
it
you
fits
guys.
our schedule. But yeah, any way we can support you guys, you know, we can, and we will.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We
I
appreciate
really
it.
do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you guys have to do any community service outreach, like let us know ahead of time, and at the same time, like if we have like time, we will come in and check you guys out.
Cool.
I think we think that's very important, especially as young up and coming fighters, like being connected to the community, whatever community you guys are from.
Yeah.
Doing that kind of work. So
Right.
yeah.
Shout out your cities.
Yeah, shout out your cities.
Stanton, California.
Hey.
I was born and
Hey.
raised there.
Anaheim, California.
Hey.
Go Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't forget to catch Allstar Boxing this Sunday, December 22nd. Should be live on Facebook or YouTube. We'll keep you guys updated. We'll be there doing the ringside live commentary. Hopefully we see Jesse there. If not, man, good luck. Hopefully they find somebody for you, man.
Yeah.
But if you guys can't check that out, it's going to be at the Quiet Cannon. We'll be there for sure, right?
That's right. Hey.
Where can they find us?
Against the ropes _ on Instagram, against @ropes.online on YouTube. Check it out. This is episode 67 with up and coming fighters, man. Keep an eye on them.
We'll be back soon for the last episode of the year. We'll be trying to do something special. The best fights of the year, best fighter of the year, all that good stuff. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to our wonderful guests.
Thank you guys.
We'll see you guys soon.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Peace.
Nice. Cool.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo AtR. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time on y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.